Well, back in the very early 70s, I got to know this couple in Birmingham, and the husband worked as a typesetter for the major newspaper in Birmingham, and his wife, she was a primary school teacher. Anyway, we happened to meet up in a pub and got talking about books and whatnot, and I was invited to their house, and they had masses of books. The subject came round to Dylan Thomas, and of course this lady knew that I was half Welsh anyway, and was I aware of Dylan Thomas? So I said yes. I said I'd love to borrow from the library sometime the recording of Dylan Thomas's radio play under Milkwood, because I'd seen it in print and whatnot. And she said, well, just so happens that we've got the double LP of it. And she pulled it out, and it had sellotape around the edges and whatnot. She said, you're welcome to borrow this, but do bring it back. So I did bring it back. I brought it back in about 3 or 4 weeks after I'd played it and played it and played it. My mother used to talk about Dylan Thomas. No, she didn't know him. He died at comparatively early age, really, and I think that was as a result of him being over in America and drinking a bit too much and the old ciggies. Anyway, very interesting man and great writer. So I managed to get this. It's obviously on CD, and it's the original recording with Richard Burton doing the narration. It's absolutely magical, this. A classic BBC radio forecast drama of Dylan Thomas's poetic play for voices, starring Richard Burton. To begin at the beginning, 'tis spring, moonless night in the small town, starless and Bible black. See, I'm virtually weaving it into my own sort of Welsh heritage there. And there are a few other quotes from it. It's across 2 CDs. I managed to pick this up, and it's like brand new, this. I don't think it's ever been played. Written by Dylan Thomas, first broadcast shortened radio version of Under Milkwood was commissioned by the BBC and broadcast on the 25th of January 1954 for the third programme. This recording is the full version broadcast on the third programme on the 11th of October 1963, produced by Douglas Cleverdon. Narrator Richard Burton, Captain Cat Hugh Griffith, I used to like him in films, Mervyn Johns, Rachel Thomas, Gwyneth Petty, Margot Jenkins, Aubrey Richards, David Rees, T.H. Evans, Talfrin Thomas. You remember Talfrin Thomas from Dad's Army, and he used to have those buck teeth, didn't he? And he was always doing things for him and taking photographs and what have you. Quite amusing comedy character. Betty Lloyd Davis, David Garfield, John Gill, Dorothea Phillips, Budug Mayor Powell, Richard Kernock, Olwyn Brooks, Guinevere Roberts, Patricia Mort, Raymond Llewellyn, and Rachel Thomas. Music by Daniel Jones. The children's songs and singing game were recorded at Albert Road Junior School, Penarth. Dylan Marley Thomas was born in Swansea on the 27th of October 1914 and educated at Swansea Grammar School, where his father was an English master. He did not learn Welsh, although his language was often described as Welsh written in English. He began writing poetry as a student and continued writing in his spare time. When leaving school in 1931, he worked as a reporter for the South Wales Daily Post in Swansea. And then it goes on and on and on about his career. And then it comes to the end where it says Dylan Thomas died in New York on the 9th of November 1953, and he is buried in Lochan. I think that's how you pronounce it. He and Caitlin had 3 children. CD 1. Begin at the beginning. The villager's dream. This is Langrub Hill. The town smells of seaweed and breakfast. Blind Captain Cat hears all the morning of the town. The villagers go about their business. CD 2. The music of the spheres. Midday, Mr. and Mrs. Pugh are silent. The sunny, slow, lulling afternoon, and now the sunset is dusk. If you have the remotest interest in Dylan Thomas, you want to hear this. And I picked this up. Well, it's brand new anyway. I picked it up on Amazon for I don't know, I think it was about £3 or something like that. It's an absolute giveaway. But as writing and the actual performance of it, it's great, and I can see that I'm going to have this on in the car quite often, and I will probably, as I always do with Welsh things, or if I step inside Wales, I end up with a Welsh accent coming out. That's the result of my mother, who was from South Wales, from Tony Pandy in the Rhondda Valley. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed seeing this. Let me know if you read Dylan Thomas, or if you've ever had a copy of this record, etc. Read any of his material. I'd be most interested. Okay, thanks for now. If you've enjoyed it, tick a like, please. And if you haven't subscribed, it's always a good time to subscribe, and then you don't miss anything. Bye for now.